everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, and in this video I will be showing you how you can recreate this protein bar packaging template. As you can make out that the flavor of this protein bar is honey flavor, and I'll just dive right in and show you how you can recreate this. It's super easy, and let's begin. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I will be creating a new document. So my document is going to be this custom size document, which is 1920 width, 1920 pixels in width, and the height is going to be 1080, and as you know, my dimension is going to be in pixels format. So I'm also going to change the document name to protein bar packaging and click on create. So when you open up your new document, by default, my layer 1 also indicates that this is layer 1. So I'm going to go ahead and also change the layer name to template like that. And I'm going to zoom out by clicking on Ctrl plus the minus key on my keyboard like this. And I'm going to use this as a reference. What I'm going to do now is that before I begin, I would like to also make sure that my smart guides options has been switched on, and my smart guides will be actually helping me a lot in making my template. So I'll be going to view and making sure that the smart guides has been switched on, and I'll click on this rectangle tool, and I'll also click on this nut option right here so that the fill gets removed. Now I'm just gonna come over here to the corner and make a rectangle which is the half size of my original document like this, and I'm gonna bring it upward like this, and I'm also going to change the stroke weight to 4 so that it's easier for you to see all the fold sides and see the template a lot easier. I'm going to select this again and make another copy on the bottom side as well. So in order to do that, I will be selecting this rectangle, clicking on Alt and bringing it down like that. So now what I'm going to do is that I'll be creating this. Since I've got this, now I'll be creating these rectangles. I'll be creating these two smaller rectangles as well. To do that, I'll be going back to my rectangle tool, and I'll be making the half width like this, and make sure that is properly. Yeah, so I'll get this rectangle at the bottom like this. I'll zoom out a little bit more. Probably is going to change the size like this. Okay, 1 is enough, this one rectangle. Also make sure that, I also make sure that the stroke remains to be 4 like that. So we've got this. Now I'm going to make more rectangles on the top and on the sides as well. So I will be using the rectangle tool again and making a rectangle like this. And I'll copy this rectangle onto the other side as well. So in order to do that, I'll make sure that my rectangle is selected, click on Alt and bring it here onto my other side as well. So we've got this. Now the only thing that I have to make is now the guidelines, which is like this. So I'll go back here and I'll be using the line segment tool now, and by clicking on Shift, I'll just make one straight line like that. Come back here to this line segment tool, and I'm going to make another line going across like that, and I'm going to copy this line onto this side as well. So I'll click on Ctrl plus C and Ctrl plus V to make a copy, and I'll just bring this line over here So we've got this, and I'm just going to make a few more lines as well to indicate where the folds has to happen. On Alt, like this one over here, and one last over here. So we've got the basic template, and now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to add this background image of a honeycomb. So I'll click on Ctrl+O to open my image. So you can get all these images upon Google and save whichever one you like the best. So I've opened it, and I'm just going to just resize this so that it fits according to our document, like that precisely. So rotate this a little bit more so that it becomes straight, like that. So I've got this, and I'm going to send this image at the back so that I can see all the guidelines. So I'll make sure that my image is selected, right click on this, go to arrange and say send to back. And when I do that, now I'm able to see all my guidelines like these. So I'm going to go ahead, select my background image again, and I'm going to decrease its opacity. So I'll go over here to this transparency panel and bring the opacity down from 100% to 50%, like that. So we've got this, and we're also able to see all our guidelines as well. So once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and also lock my layer so that when I add any graphic onto my template, I do not accidentally move anything around or delete anything. I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer, and I'm going to rename my layer 2 to be graphics. And let's see. Okay, so I'm going to add all these two images as well. And to do that, I'll be clicking on Ctrl+O, and I'll be first opening up this image, which is the barcode. And I'm just going to drag this image back to my original document like that. And I'm going to rotate this as well. I'll zoom in on this to make this a little bit more bigger by clicking on Shift. And I'm going to resize this like this. And I'm going to rotate this like that and bring it over here. Now what I want to do is that I want to blend this barcode with my background image as well. So to do that, I'll temporarily just unlock the template layer, and I'll make sure that my image is still selected, and I'm going to go over here to this transparency panel, and over here in this blending mode, I will be choosing this option called multiply, so that it gets blended with my background image as well. I'm going to temporarily just lock my layer again and zoom back into my document. Now I'm going to open up a new image which states the nutritional values of a protein bar. So I'll open up my image again, and you can get all these images up on Google and choose whichever one which suits you the best. And I'm going to just resize this again by clicking on Shift+Alt and dragging it bigger like that. I'm going to let this be the way it is, because with the white background then it's a lot easier for the users to read. And I'm going to go ahead and also just close that image that we had just opened. So now I will be opening up my polygon tool, and I will be creating 3 polygons in different sizes. I'll be choosing my stroke to be white, and also I need the fill to be red for now. And I'm just going to create this polygon like that, and I will change its fill to be white, and I'm going to go ahead, create a smaller hexagon about this size and change its fill to red. I'll select this hexagon and make another copy by clicking on Alt and change that, and change this polygon's color to orange. I'm just going to place them like that. And I'm going to bring this one forward like this. So what I'm going to do now is that if you notice that there is one honeybee icon right here, so that's going to act as a logo. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new image, which is this one, the honeybee vector, which is in PNG format. And I'm going to crop this a little so that I do not require these excess white space, this negative space. I click on apply. I'm going to just drag my image right over here. So I'm going to resize this as well, like this. Bring this on the top, resize this a little further so that it fits my white hexagon. Like this, and place it right over here. Now I'm also going to add a drop shadow behind this image to give it a more 3D look. So I'll make sure that my image is still selected. I'll go to Effect, Stylize and Drop Shadow. And I'll let the opacity be 55%. The color is going to be black, and click on OK. And as you can see, a drop shadow has now been added behind the bumblebee. Now that we've made this, I'm going to go back to my rectangle tool, and I will be adding these two rectangles as well. So I will be now choosing my fill to be red again, and I'm going to go ahead and make one rectangle like that, and I'm going to make my second rectangle, and this time the second rectangle's color is going to be orange as well. And rectangle, let's see, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and make one rectangle from this side as well. Okay, so we've got this. I'm going to go ahead and also lock my layer again. I'm going to create a new layer, and in this layer 3 panel, layer 3, I'm going to add I'm going to rename this to text, and now I can just freely add my texts right here. I'm going to type in the words honey bars, and I'm going to go ahead and also change its size to 72 for now. And the font style that I will be using is Palantino Linotype, but you're free to use any font size as you like. It's not necessary that you have to choose the same one that I'm using. So once that's made, I'm going to go to Object and click on Expand, and making sure that my object and fill has been selected, and click on OK. So once that's happened, the text then gets converted into a vector image. And then I can also resize this even further. Make this bigger, taller, however I want it, like that. I'm going to change its fill to a dark brown, like that. So you've got this. Now what I'm going to do is that I will also be adding these two texts as well. So in the red one it says 0 trans fat. I'm going to click on my type tool, come over here and type in 0, and on the next line type in trans fat. So I'll select my text and change its fill to white. I'm going to zoom in on this, and I'm just going to bring the 0 in the middle like this and get it over here, and probably just resize this as well so that it fits into my red hexagon like that. Resize this even more and like that. Probably I'll also make this to be bold so that it's a lot easier to read. I'll select this again and click on Alt and bring it over here. I'm going to go ahead and change the text of this to 32 grams of protein. This go, keep this centrally aligned, and then just bring it over here. That. And the last thing I want to do is that I will be adding some text over here on this orange one as well. So I'll select over here and I'll add the text. No preservatives used. I'm going to bring it to the center of my orange rectangle, and I'm going to go ahead and also change its fill to white and let it be bold, and that's it. So we've got our honey protein bar packaging template ready. So now the only thing that is left to do is that I have to now save my document. In order to do that, I will be going to File and clicking on Save As. So by default, my file name is going to be Protein Bar Packaging, which is the same name as my document name. And I left the Save As type going to be Adobe Illustrator. I highly recommend that we save our file in this format so that in case if I want to make any further changes, I can easily do that by accessing my AI file. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save and click on OK. So there you go. We have now successfully saved our packaging in an AI file. So now that we have come to the end of our tutorial, I hope you found this video to be useful and you can use similar kind of packaging for different products as well. And probably if you want, you can also add more graphics to this or add more icons or whatever you like to add. So thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.